Hello, my artist friends. Welcome to Imagination Draw Along. I'm Aunt Dewey. Thank you for drawing with me today. Today, I want to draw a circus. And inside of our huge circus tent, I want to draw the ringmaster in the middle wearing a top hat. Maybe that can be you. And an elephant and a lion and some trapeze swingers above, flying through the air. We'll also make sure they have a safety net, of course. If while you're drawing along you think of something that I didn't think of, go ahead and add that to your paper. All of us will have different pictures, and that's part of the fun. I'm going to get started in the center of my paper by drawing the ringmaster. The ringmaster is the person in charge of the show. So we're inside the giant circus tent, and I'm going to draw my ringmaster standing on a tiny round stage. It's so small, it's like he flipped over a basket to stand on. And I'll draw him or her, or this can be you, standing straight up and proud to be in charge of running the circus. So I'll draw a round head and a face that looks proud with some nice eyes and a big smile. And a ringmaster wears a top hat traditionally, kind of like the one Abraham Lincoln wears, except this one might be any color or it might have a cool stripe on it. And you can add any type of hair under the hat that might be like your hair. The ringmaster is wearing a fancy tuxedo. Lots of times you'll find the ringmaster wears a red one, sometimes black, sometimes any color, even sparkles. It's long in the back and has flaps. And at the top, the ringmaster is wearing a bow tie. He's looking fancy for a very serious job. And at the bottom, the ringmaster is wearing tall, skinny boots that go all the way up to his or her knees. I'm not sure if the boots are a fashion choice or because he has to be careful being around so much animal poo. I have a feeling these elephants and lions are hard to clean up after. The ringmaster is also holding a whip, but he doesn't use it to hurt any animals. He just uses it to make a popping noise to get their attention. If a ringmaster tried to hurt any animals, I would have him fired from my circus. Speaking of the animals, I'm ready to add some. I think in one of the bottom corners of my picture, I'm going to add an elephant. I love drawing elephants because they're so big. So I've picked out a corner to place him, and I'm going to start with his big head, which isn't quite round. We know they have a huge trunk coming out the front. So I've drawn his head almost like a very soft-edged upside-down triangle with a very long trunk, and I like to make my elephant's trunk curl up a little bit at the end. Next, I'll draw my elephant's big floppy ears. And he has some happy eyes. And I can't help it, I love to draw eyelashes on my elephants. If you don't want eyelashes on your elephant, that's okay. That's your artist's choice. I almost forgot that at the top of the trunk, I've got to draw 2 big tusks. Those are almost like 2 giant teeth that curl up a little bit, and they're kind of pointy at the end. Next, I'll draw his big, huge body that's kind of round, kind of shaped like a giant bean, and his very strong legs, and a little tiny tail. I might add just a tiny little blanket on his back too, just for a fun decoration. How's your elephant looking? Happy? Strong? Ready to do a trick? I think next to his feet, I'll draw a couple of peanuts so he can have a snack. A peanut just looks kind of like the number 8. In the other corner of my picture, I'm ready to draw a lion. And I want to show this lion with his mouth wide open, showing off his sharp teeth. At the circus, the lions like to pretend to be super scary. But they're trained to be nice. Or at least in my imagination they are. So I'm going to draw my lion from the side so I can see how wide his mouth is open. And I'm going to start with the mouth, which I'm drawing kind of like the letter C, or a half circle, or like a backwards letter C. And then over the top of the C, I'll draw the nose and 2 eyes, and underneath the C, a little chin. Then when I'm inside of the C, I can draw some sharp lion teeth that he's so proud of and probably takes good care of. Or maybe the ringmaster takes good care of the lion's teeth. I'm not sure. Next, of course, I'll add a mane all around the lion's head. That's that big fluffy fur that almost makes a lion look like a flower, but kind of a vicious flower. Next, I'll draw his body. And lions are technically really big cats. So I'm drawing a body just like a cat, except bigger and stronger. And I'm giving him a little tail with a puff of fur at the end. And I'm going to admit something here, artists. When I look at my lion, this is the least lion-looking lion that I have ever drawn. I had really high hopes, but I'm kind of disappointed with how this turned out. But I guess that's how art goes sometimes. So even though I'm a little disappointed in my lion, I'm gonna move on to the next thing. Because the next thing is my next opportunity to make myself really happy. I'm excited to try something new. Towards the top of my paper, I'm going to draw my trapeze swingers. Before I draw, I'll tell you a little bit about what they are so you can picture it. Trapeze swingers are these super cool, flexible acrobats who jump from one swing or one monkey bar to the next, way up high. They're also super flexible so they can make their bodies do crazy things. So towards the top of my paper, or towards the roof of my circus tent, I'll draw a trapeze bar that looks like a swing with a straight bar instead of a seat. And I'll draw a person diving off of this swinging bar and flying through the air like Superman, arms straight out and legs straight back. And this woman, I decided she's a girl this time because I think all my animals were boys. You can draw whoever you want, of course. Anyway, she's reaching out for the next swinging bar. So I'm gonna draw that swinging bar going towards her so that I know she can catch it. She's wearing a very tight, colorful suit to protect her skin. And she's wearing a shiny hat like a bonnet. This makes it more fun to watch her twirl through the air. A little bit underneath her, I want to draw a net just to be safe. I figure since the elephants and the lions are being treated humanely, I'll treat the humans humanely too. So she has the safety of a net and a living wage and affordable health care. And the joy of swinging through the air for her job. Let's take a moment to look over your picture. Are there any details or extra animals that you want to add? In a moment, I'm going to turn to the adults, and while I'm there, I'm going to challenge you to add either another elephant, another lion, or another trapeze acrobat. To any adults in the room, I want to say thank you so much for tuning into this show. It helps us out a lot when you listen, when you subscribe, when you leave a review, or when you support the show in any way you can. I want to give a special thank you shout out to Natalia and Vito who supported the show this week. And you can check out their artwork on imaginationdrawalong.com. Big thank you. Artists, how's your extra animal or trapeze swinger? Are they all safe, happy, and dazzling? Take as much time as you need to finish up your picture. And when you're done, make sure you draw your name on the bottom, or your best first initial, or any scribble that reminds you that this is your paper and you are proud that you did your artwork. Until we draw together again next time, I have 3 things your imagination can wonder about. 1. If you went to the circus, what would you hope you could see? 2. How do the acrobats stay safe up there on their trapeze? 3. If you ran the circus, how would you make sure that the animals and people were taken care of? Thank you for drawing a circus with me today. I hope we draw together again soon.